Hello students, welcome to my class. Today I am here to discuss the theory of graphs, and this paper is named as DSCA according to the syllabus of University of Calcutta, and this paper is specially designed for BSc General Mathematics students of SEM 5. Okay, so this paper consists of 100 marks, okay, and these are the classification of 100 marks, that is 65 marks for final exam, 10 marks for internal assessment, 15 marks for tutorial and 10 marks for attendance. And the name of the paper is DSCA, though there are two options in DSCA, that is one is the particle dynamics and other is the graph theory, but here I have chosen to teach graph theory because graph theory is much more interesting and it is the current trend in mathematics. So according to me, the students of this generation should know about graph theory, okay. So that's why I have chosen graph theory and I hope you will enjoy this paper, okay. So let me start that. So today I am giving a very preliminary outline of this graph theory, actually what is graph theory and why it is needed to use in our life, and what are the basic terminologies of graph theory and some basic examples of graph theory, and these are the point of discussions for today, okay. So now I am removing this. So you have already know the classification of this graph theory, okay. So I am removing this. So graph theory is actually a theory of graphs, okay, because the name is graph theory, so it is obviously the theory of graphs, okay. So graph theory is the theory of graphs, okay, and it is a mathematical structure, and it is a mathematical structure to model the pairwise relationship between objects, okay. Actually this is the definition of the graph theory. It is used to maintain or to model a pairwise relationship between objects, okay. So a graph theory is actually by mathematically a graph theory can be written as, that is a graph can be written as G, and it should have a set of vertex and a set of edge, okay. That is there may be some vertex, okay, and there may be some edge, okay. So this is again a graph, okay. So there are some vertices, that is V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6, and there are some edges, okay, that is E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, okay. So mathematically a graph can be written like that, okay, the set of vertices and the set of edges. So it is a set of two sets, it consists of the set of two sets. The number one is the set of vertices and the number two is set of edges, okay. These are the edges, okay, and these points are the vertices. So this is an example of a graph. Now according to graph theory, graphs may be of two types. One is the directed graph and another is the undirected graph. So the classification of graphs like that, so it may be directed or may be undirected, okay. Directed means there exists a direction from one vertex to another vertex, okay. That is, suppose So I am removing this one. That is, suppose this is V1 and this is V2, and there exists a direction between V1 to V2. So the direction is from V1 to V2. So that means this graph is directed. Suppose this is V3, suppose this is V4, suppose this is V5, suppose this is V6. So there may be a direction, there may be a direction, there may be a direction, there may be a direction. Okay, so this kind of graphs are called the directed graphs. That is, there is a direction between one vertex to another vertex. Okay, that is, this is just like a vector. That is, a vector has a direction, okay, from A to B. So this kind of direction is also in the graph, and that is from one vertex V1 to another vertex V2. Okay, or it may be undirected. Okay, so that means it is without direction, so there is no distinction between the two vertices associated with the edges. So it may be directed, may be undirected. Okay, so hope you have understood this. That is, graph theory is the theory of graphs, and it can be used to model the pairwise relationship between the objects. And graphs may be of two types. One is directed, another is undirected. Directed means there is a direction between one vertex to another vertex, and undirected means there is no distinction between the vertices associated with the edges. Okay, so mathematically, graph theory, in the graph theory, a graph may be written as like this. Okay, so this is the mathematical expression of graphs. Okay, now I am writing a specific graphs because okay, so VG is the set of vertices and EG is the set of edges. Okay, now I am drawing a picture of the graph because in a graph theory there are different kinds of terminology. Okay, and these terminology are very much useful when you are going to read this theory in detail, because then this terminology will be appeared again and again. Okay, so you should be familiar to this kind of terminology, and that are used in the graph theory. Okay, so now I am drawing a picture of a particular graph to make you understand the terminologies of the graph theory. Okay, so let me draw this. So suppose this is V1, this is V2, this is V3, this is V4, this is V5. Okay, so you can name this at V1, this is V2, this is V3, this is V4, and this is V5. So there are 5 vertices in the graph. Okay, now there should be some edges obviously. So I am now, that is V1 to V2, this, the name of the edge is E1. Okay, and then V1 to so V2 to V5. Okay, the name of the edge is E2, and then there are 2 edges like that. That is, one is, and there is another edge. So the name is E3, this is E4, this is E4, this is, okay, this is E5. Okay, so this is the picture of a graph. Okay, so how many vertices are there? V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5. Okay, so the graph consists of the vertices V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5. Okay, and how many edges are there? So no, so actually, so this is actually, sorry, this is actually V of G. Okay, and how many edges are there? That is E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, and no edges are associated with V3. Okay, so E1, E2, E3, E4 and E5. Okay, so these are the edges in this graph. Okay, now the first definition that I am going to explain is the end vertices. Okay, so what is called end vertices, or what are the end vertices actually? The end vertices is two vertices joined by an edge are called end vertices. Okay, so two vertices joined by an edge are called end vertices. So two vertices, that is, this is V1, this is V2, this is V3, V4 and V5. Now look at the vertices V1 and V2. Okay, so they are the end vertices of the edge E1. Okay, so two vertices are joined by the edge E1, they are called the end vertices. Okay, so what is the example? So example is V1 and V2 are the end vertices of E1, right, of the edge E1, because if there is an edge, so there should be a starting vertex and a ending vertex, and these two vertices are called the end vertices of the edge. Okay, so and similarly V2 and V5 are the end vertices of E2. Okay, so you can write that V2 and V5 are the end vertices of E2. Okay, so this is the definition of end vertices. Okay, next is the parallel edges. Parallel edges, when two or more edges has the same endpoints. Okay, that is the edges E4 and E5. Look at the edges E4 and E5, and they have the same end vertices V4 and V5. Okay, because V4 and V5 is the end point of E4, as well as V4 and V5 is the end point of E5. Okay, so this shows that these two edges have the same end vertices. Okay, so if two or more edges have the same end vertices, then they are called parallel edges. Okay, so what is the example? Because this graph actually covers most of the terminology of graph theory, that's why I am drawing this kind of graph. Okay, so what is the example? That is E4 and E5. E4 and E5 are the parallel edges. Okay, so till now I have given you two very important definitions of graph theory. That is, one is end vertices. What is the end vertices? That is two vertices joined by an edge. Okay, the terminal point of an edge are called the end vertices. Okay, and parallel edges, if two or more, there may be more edges and they can have same end vertices V4 and V5, then they are called the parallel edges. Okay, next I am coming to the terminology. So I am removing this one. Okay, so the next terminology is loop. Okay, this is very important. Okay, the next terminology is loop. Okay, so what is a loop? that is when an edge is starting from V5 and it is ended as V5. Okay, so the definition of the loop is an edge joining a vertex to itself is called a loop. Okay, so an edge joining a vertex to itself is called a loop. So this edge is actually loop because it is starting from V5 and it is ended at V5. Okay, so this is a kind of loop. So a loop has only one end vertex, okay, and that is V5. So a loop has only one end vertex. Okay, the example is, that is, E3 is a loop. Okay, E3 is a loop and the end vertex is V5. Okay, so the end vertex is V5. So till now I have discussed end vertices, parallel edges and loop. This is the parallel edges, okay, because these two edges have the same end vertices, but this is a loop, okay, because it is starting from V5 and ended as V5. So the edge is joining the vertex to itself, okay, so therefore this is a loop. Okay, now next so this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. Actually these terminologies will be appeared again and again when you are going to read this graph theory in detail. Okay, that's why it is necessary to make very easier for you. Okay, acha, next is adjacent edges. Adjacent edges means when two or more edges shares same end vertex. Okay, they are called the adjacent edges. Okay, so when two or more edges share same end vertex, then they are called adjacent edges. Okay, so according to this picture, these E1 and E2 are adjacent edges. Why? Because they have the same end vertex V2. Okay, so whenever the 3 or more edges have the same end vertex, okay, same end vertex, the edges started from a same end vertex, then they are all called the adjacent edges. So according to this graph, so as for example, E1 and E2 are the adjacent edges. So E1 and E2 are the adjacent edges. Okay, so similarly you have another definition, and that is the adjacent. Okay, so I am writing here, that is adjacent vertices. So what is the adjacent vertices? That is, if they are connected by an edge. Okay, so if they are connected by an edge, then they are called the adjacent vertices. That is, V1 and V2 are connected by E1. Okay, so therefore they are adjacent vertices. Similarly, V2 and V5 are connected by E2. Okay, so therefore they are adjacent vertices. Similarly, V4, V5 are connected by E4, E5. Okay, so they are the adjacent vertices. So when the two vertices, when the two vertices are connected by an edge, okay, then they are called the adjacent vertices. So as for example, you can write that is V1 and V2, okay. So V1 and V2 are the adjacent edges. Similarly, V2 and V5, okay. Similarly, V4 and V5, okay. So they are the adjacent edges. And look at the vertex, that is V3, okay. So no edge is associated with V3, right? So V3 is not the end point of any edge, okay. So therefore V3 has also a special name, and this kind of vertex is called isolated vertex, okay. So I am writing here the isolated vertex. Isolated vertex means is this vertex is not the end point of any edge, okay. So the example is V3, okay. So these are the main terminologies actually, and they are used very often in the theory of graphs, okay. So I have drawn a picture here, okay, a special type of graphs, and this covers all kind of terminologies, okay. First, the end vertices, that is when the two vertices are joined by an edge, okay. So they are called the end vertices of the edge, okay. That is V1 and V2 are the end vertices of E1. Similarly, V2 and V5 are the end vertices of E2. Next, coming to the parallel edges, that is if two or more edges have the same end vertices, then they are called the parallel edges. That is, these two edges are parallel, E4 and E5, because they have the same end vertices V4 and V5. Similarly, coming to the next definition, that is loop, that is an edge joining a vertex to itself. So this edge is the edge E3 actually. So I am writing it more clearly, that is E3, okay. So this edge E3, so I am writing them more clearly. So this is V1, this is V2, this is E1, this is E2, this is E4, this is E5, this is V5, this is V4, okay. So in a loop, this edge joining the vertex to itself, okay. So therefore this E3 is a loop here, okay. Now adjacent edges means when two or more edges share the same end vertex, then they are called the adjacent edges. That is E1 and E2, they share the same end vertex V2, so therefore they are the adjacent edges. Then adjacent vertices, when the two vertices are connected by an edge, then they are called the adjacent vertices. That is V1 and V2 are adjacent vertices because they are connected by E1. Similarly, V2 and V5 are the adjacent vertices because they are connected by E2. Okay. Similarly, E4 and E5 also because they are connected by V4 and V5. Okay. And next, the isolated vertex, that is this vertex V3. This vertex V3 is called isolated vertex because it is not the end point of any edge. That is, no edge is associated with the vertex V3. That's why it is called isolated vertex. Okay. So hope you have understood all these terminologies. Now we have some more terminologies, that is, so I am removing here, that is empty graph. Okay. So what is empty graph? empty graph means if a graph has only the vertices, okay, that is v1, v2, v3, v4, suppose v5, okay. So only there are the vertices, okay, no edges. So the set of edges is 5, okay, then it is called a empty graph, right. So what is an empty graph? If it has only the vertices but no edges, okay, then it is called empty graph. Similarly, there is also a graph, special type of graph, and this is called null graph. So what is null graph? If the set of vertices is empty, okay, so there is no vertices, so it is obvious that so there should be no edges. If there is no vertices, so it is a blank just, so there is no options of existing vertices, right. So obviously if there is no vertices, there is no edges, right, and this type of graph is called null graph, okay. So what is empty graph? If there are only vertices, then it is called empty graph. And what is null graph? If the set of vertices also empty, also 5, and set of edges also 5, okay, that is a blank, that is only blank. So if the vertices, if there is no vertices, so there should be no edges, so therefore it is called a null graph, okay. Next I am removing here next I am removing this one. Now a simple graph. So what is called a simple graph? If a graph does not contain any parallel edge or any loop. So if a graph does not have any parallel edges and also any loop, then it is called simple graph, okay. So what is an example of a simple graph? That is, suppose v1, v2, v3, v4, v5, v6, okay. So v1, e1, e2, e3, e4, e5. So suppose this is v1, v2, v3, v4, v5, v6, and this is e1, e2, e3, e4, e5. So this kind of graph does not have any kind of parallel edges, that is this is the parallel edges, so there is no parallel edges, and this is a loop, so there is no loop, okay. So this is an example of simple graph, okay. If it has no edges and no parallel edges and no loops, okay, then it is called a simple graph, okay. So hope you have understood this kind of terminology. Now next I am coming to a very important definition, that is the degree of vertex. So till now what I have learned here, that is empty graph. This is a special type of graph, empty graph, where the set of the where the edges of a graph is 5, that is there is no edges. The null graph, that is there is no edges, no vertices as well as no edges. And a simple graph, if it does not have any parallel edge or any loops, okay, then it is called a simple graph. Now I am coming to a very important terminology, that is the degree of the graph, okay. So the next I am coming is degree of the vertices, okay. This is very important. So degree of the vertices is denoted by d of v, okay, or degree of V, because V always expresses the vertices and E always expresses the edges. Okay, so d of V or degree of V, that means number of edges are associated with the vertex V. That means the number of edges associated with the vertex V determines the degree of that vertex. Okay, so if you consider suppose V1, so what is the degree of V1? What is the degree of V1? Because only one edge is associated from V1, there is only one edge, so therefore degree of V1 is 1. What is degree of V2? Degree of V2, look at the V2, that is 2 edges are associated with V2, so therefore degree of V2 is 2. Okay, now what is degree of V3? Degree of V3 is obviously 0, because it is an isolated vertex and it is not the end point of any kind of edge, or no edges are associated with the vertex, so its degree is obviously 0. Okay, next, what is degree of V4? So degree of V4 is, look at this V4, that is 1 and 2. Okay, 2 edges are associated with V4. This is number 1 and this is number 2. Okay, so degree of V4 is 2. Okay, next, what is degree of V5? Degree of V5, look at that, there is 1, 2, 3 edges, and whenever we are considering a loop, okay, so the edge is started from V5 and ended at V5. So V5 is the only end vertex for a loop. Okay, so that means for a loop the degree is calculated as 2. Okay, so for a loop a vertex always has a degree 2, because it plays the role of both the starting vertex and the ending vertex. So V5 plays the roles for both starting and ending vertex, therefore for this edge the degree of V5 is 2. Okay, so here is 1, then 2, then 3, and then there is 2, so therefore 5. So for E2 there is 1, for E4 E5 there is 1, okay, E2 E4 E5, and for E3 there is 2. Okay, because E3 is loop, so therefore 2, 3, 4, 5. So the degree of V5 is 5. So 10. So total degree of these vertices are 10. Now another definition is that if degree of V is 1, then this vertex is called pendant vertex. Okay, pendant vertex, that is degree of V1. Okay, V1 is 1, then it is called pendant vertex. Okay, degree of V3 is 0, that means V3 is an isolated vertex. Okay, acha, and degree of V may be odd or may be even. It is very clear that degree of V5 is 5, so therefore it is odd, and degree of V2 is 2, so therefore it is even. Okay, so therefore the degree of the vertices of a graph may be even, may be odd. Okay, and there is another theorem that for any graph degree of Vi I is equal to 1 to n is equal to 2 into m. I am writing this clearly, that is if G has the set of vertices VG and EG, and this this VG contains n vertices, okay, V1, V2, V3, V4, so you can write it as V1, V2 up to Vn, n vertices, okay, and this set, the set of edges E1, E2 up to Em. So m edges and n vertices if a graph has, then the summation of degree of Vi is equal to 2m. That means the total sum of the degree of vertices of a graph is equal to the twice of the number of edges of the graph. Okay. So look at this graph, right? So what is summation? So I am removing this. So what is summation? Look at that. So there are 5 vertices V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. So degree of V1 plus degree of V2 plus degree of V3 plus degree of V4 plus degree of V5. So this is 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 0 is 3 plus 2 is 5 and plus 5 is 10. So 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 is 10. And how many edges are there? E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. Okay. So 5 edges. So 5 edges means this is 2 into 5. So twice the number of edges. So that is, so here actually n is 5 and m is 5 also. Okay. Because there are 5 vertices. So V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. So n is 5 and E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. So m is 5. Okay. So degree of V1 plus degree of V2 plus degree of V3. So this is equal to 2 into 5, that means twice the number of edges. So the total summation of the degree of vertices of a graph is equal to the twice the number of edges. Okay. So these are the basic terminologies which will be used again and again in the graph theory. Now there are some more others, so I think I should continue it in the next class. So hope you have understood this kind of terminologies and hope you have enjoyed this class. So till then, thank you, stay tuned.